It's good to be back. We're coming to you live from Nasrec. This is where the ANC policy conference is being hosted. And let's go talk to my colleague, Pule Letshwiti-Jones, outside for us. Pule, what's the very latest from where you stand? Good morning.
Yeah, definitely. Seems like the picketing by ANC staff workers disgruntled, of course, has gained a bit of momentum. And I did say earlier on there would be, also represented by members of Mahawu as well, coming here to express their problems and challenges they've been encountering. Obviously, this in relation to the issues of salaries. We've also been notified that about only 158 of the workers have been paid, while there's still an outstanding 29 of them who haven't been paid. Of course, the ANC as an organization has only paid about 1 month of some of those who are owed salaries, and others are still in 2 months outstanding salaries not being paid. And this, of course, is a problem that has been persisting within the movement for a very long time. But coupled with that, we also do understand that, it would cost the organization just about having to retrench 70% of their staffers if they were to resolve this issue. But I'm going to be speaking to one of the ANC representatives here this morning, Mr. Mvusi Ndala, who's also been leading the pack here in raising their challenges. Mr. Mvusi, thank you very much for joining us. Perhaps we'll start about the problem at hand. This has been persisting for a very long time as well. What is the way forward? I mean, previously we would have heard that, the Treasurer General, of course, Paul Mashatile, is saying that he would look into this problem, but months down the line, it's still the same issue.
It's very unfortunately that we are still subjected to this treatment by this uncaring leadership of the ANC at the time when the economy of the country is not doing well. Every petrol price is going high, foods are going high, and then to be subjected to this is unfair labor practice. From now onwards, we'll continue to demonstrate and picket and show our unsatisfaction and our anger and mobilize members of society. As you can see here today, we are here with the President of Nehau, General Secretary of Nehau, and the General Secretary of Communist Party coming to show solidarity to our plight. Not only our plight, but also to all the workers of SARS and UNISA who are also subjected to the same conditions as we are as ANC workers.
And what are some of the solutions you've tabled in terms of having to speak to senior members of the organization to try and find a way forward and resolve this issue? I mean, you are picketing outside what one would call one of the party's biggest events taking place today, being the ANC policy conference. Are there some solutions you've brought to the table?
One of the solutions that we think is going to resolve this problem permanently, downsizing, because it has come clear to us as workers of the ANC that the ANC cannot afford to pay the current staff that is having. And with party funding as a challenge to them, because you cannot rely on donation on a month-to-month basis. Therefore, having a sizable staff that is manageable in terms of payment on a monthly basis, provident fund that must be paid continuously, not to subject staff to medical aid on a month-to-month basis that is suspended.
Maybe, what is your reaction on the spokesperson, Pule Letshwiti, having to say that the ANC relies on donations and it's not an organization that relies on cash in transit to make money as well and try and resolve this issue?
That was an unfortunate statement by Pule Letshwiti. We were shocked that a spokesperson of the ANC, a National Executive Committee member, to utter such statement. We all know that the ANC is not a cash transit, but also the question of donation. What is surprising us is that the party funding, as much as there is a threshold, because what they are putting forward is that donors, they don't want to be known. And then when donors, they don't want to be known, and then you hear Pule Letshwiti raising that ANC is not a cash in transit, it raises a lot of questions about where the money was coming from before.
So what's the plan of action this morning? Are we looking at you having to interrupt the policy conference, or you having to raise some of these, debates during the policy conference? What's the next step forward?
There is absolutely no intention to disrupt the conference. We are disciplined members of the ANC. We are very loyal to the ANC. At the plenary, the commissions, the issue of staff will be raised because some of us are delegates in the conference, and also we've mobilized other delegates to ensure that this issue is priority in the agenda of the conference.
Maybe just the last question before I let you go. Are you hopeful that the organization will come around and resolve this issue? I mean, when you look at the outstanding Provident Fund fee, it's sitting at about 98 million in arrears as well since 2018, and it seems as though nothing has been done about this. Are you hopeful that they will come around and resolve the issue at hand?
We are hopeful that this issue will be resolved. As we have indicated before, the challenge here is not the problem of money. It's a question of political will of the leadership to ensure that issue is resolved. As we are moving towards the conference in December, we think that we need to have a leadership that is serious about resolving this matter.
Okay, that's Mr. Mdala representing ANC staffers there, Tumelo, saying that they are confident that the organization will come around and resolve this issue, citing that it is a matter of political will. But from what we saw, you'd remember just before the local government elections, the ANC Treasurer General Paul Mashatile did commit to say they would resolve this issue. The ANC January 8 as well, the organization committed to resolving this issue. And now, few months down the line, it's still the same problem persisting. And, one may question as to whether the gala dinners and presidential gala dinners are just a, temporary solution to put a plaster to this problem that's been ripping the organization apart in terms of having ANC disgruntled workers having to picket almost every 3 months regarding this issue.
Yeah, and Pule, if some media reports are anything to go by, it seems like the recent ANC, gala dinner didn't go well either. There were a couple of, empty seats there that were seen, those visuals also circulating even on social media. So not even sure if they raised enough as they had targeted, but also hearing what the ANC member had to say regarding, unfair labor practice by the ANC, but also those donations not being sustainable, especially in these tough economic times. And we just, of course, waiting to hear how the ANC then will respond to that picket by its own staff members.